Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our Constitution embodies our values and laws and invests the power of our government in the authority of the people, expressed through free and fair elections. When President Trump, for his own personal political gain, asked for a favor from a foreign leader, he did exactly what our founding fathers feared most. He invited the influence of a foreign power into our elections. This is one of the primary reasons the founders placed impeachment in our Constitution. Last week, Professor Carlin summed up his wrongdoing well when she stated, quote, "When President Trump invited, indeed demanded, foreign involvement in our upcoming election, he struck at the very heart of what makes this country the republic to which we pledge allegiance. That demand constituted an abuse of power." She continued on, "Drawing a foreign government into our election process is an especially serious abuse of power because it undermines democracy itself." It's as if our founders could see into 2019, and when they did, they saw Donald Trump corrupting our democracy by saying to President Zelensky of Ukraine, "I'd like you to do us a favor, though." President Trump's subversive and illegal action in seeking foreign interference are an effrontery to our Constitution and to free and fair elections. They are an affront to our founders. They are an affront to the suffragists who fought for women's voting rights. They are an affront to the memory of Medgar Evers, a civil rights leader assassinated in Jackson, Mississippi. They are an affront to the memories of Andrew Goodman, James Chaney, and Michael Schwerner, civil rights workers murdered in Philadelphia, Mississippi during the Freedom Summer of '64 while registering African Americans to vote. They are an affront to the memory of Viola Liuzzo, a mother of 5 who was murdered by the Ku Klux Klan while she was in Alabama to participate in the Selma to Montgomery March. And they're an affront to the memory of the Reverend Martin Luther King, Jr., who championed the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And they're an affront to every service member who has ever fought to defend our nation and our system of self-government, which is based upon free and fair elections. President Trump's attempt to subvert our election was an attack on America. The president got caught when the whistleblower exposed the president's scheme. Then the president sought to cover up the scheme. He stonewalled Congress as we pursued our investigation. He instructed his staff, cabinet, and other federal officials to do the same. Previous presidents facing impeachment, even President Nixon, cooperated with Congress. But President Trump has thumbed his nose at constitutional power, and he refused to appear to defend himself. Congress is a co-equal branch of government and was foremost to the founders' minds. They placed Congress first in Article 1 of the Constitution. President Trump's obstruction of Congress is an affront to Peter Rodino, who chaired this committee in the summer of '74 when Congress investigated Nixon's betrayal of his oath of office. It's also an affront to the memory of Representative Barbara Jordan, who as a member of this committee said she would not, quote, "be an idle spectator to the diminution, the subversion, the destruction of the Constitution." And it's an affront to the memory of Congressman Elijah Cummings, who knew we were better than this. And it's an affront to the many patriots who love this country enough to defy the president's tyrannical attempt to prohibit their testimony, including Ambassador Yovanovitch, Ambassador Taylor, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, and Dr. Fiona Hill. And further, it's an affront to the memory of Caldwell Butler, a principled Republican of the Judiciary Committee in 1974. He did not support impeachment before the hearings, but he listened to the evidence, and that convinced him. He announced he would vote for impeachment by saying, "For years, we Republicans have campaigned against corruption and misconduct, but Watergate is our shame." His sense of right and wrong was inviolate. When his mother warned him that his future would go, quote, "down the drain," unquote, he responded, "Dear mother, you are probably right. However, I feel that my loyalty to the Republican Party does not relieve me of the obligation that I have." His mother was wrong. Representative Butler served for another decade. And President Trump's obstruction of Congress is an affront to the citizens of my district, all members of Congress, and all Americans who support free and fair elections. We, the People's House, have a duty to uphold our oath of office and to be a check on a president who abuses his power, betrays his oath, and corrupts our elections. Those who want to turn a blind eye to President Trump corrupting our democracy will try to get us to look away. We should not look away. I will not look away. I will remember our founders' great plan for our great nation, and I will remember the rule of law. Above all, I will adhere to my oath of office. I yield back the balance of my time.